Great Depression, worldwide economic downturn that began in 1929 and lasted until about 1939. It was the longest and the most severe depression ever experienced by the industrialized Western world, sparkling fundamental changes in the economic institution, macroeconomics policy, and economic theory. Although it was originated in United States, and the Great Depression caused drastic declines in output, severe unemployment, and acute deflation in almost every country of the world. Its social and cultural effects were no less staggering, especially in the United States, where the Great Depression represented the harshest adversity faced by the Americans since the Civil War. Economic history. The timing and the severity of the Great Depression varied substantially across countries. The depression was particularly long and severe in the United States and Europe. It was milder in Japan and much of Latin America. Perhaps not surprisingly, the worst depression ever experienced by the world economy stemmed from multitude of causes. Decline in consumer demand, financial panics, and misguided government policies caused economic output to fall in the United States, while the gold standard, which linked nearly all the countries of the world in a network of fixed currency exchange rates, played a key role in transmitting the American downturn to the other countries. The recovery from the Great Depression was spurred largely by the abandonment of gold standard and the Great Depression and the ensuing monetary expansion. The economic impact of the Great Depression was enormous, including both extreme human suffering and profound changes in the economic policy. Timing and severity. The Great Depression began in the United States as an ordinary recession in the summer of the 1929. The downturn became markedly worse, however, in late 1929 and in continued until early 1933. Real output and the prices fell pre- precipitously between the peak and the thorough and the trough of the downturn. Industrial production in the United States declined 47% and real gross domestic product (GDP) fell 30%. The wholesale price index declined 33%. Such declines in the prices level are referred to as deflation. Although there is some debate about the reliability of the statistics, it is widely agreed that the unemployment rate exceeded 20% at its highest point. The severity of the Great Depression in the United States became especially clear when it is compared with America's next worst recession, the Great Recession of 2007 to 2009, during which the country's real GDP declined just 4.3% and the unemployment rate peaked at less than 10%. The depression affected virtually every country of the world. However, the dates and the magnitude of the downturn varied substantially across the countries. Great Britain struggled with the low growth and recession during the most of the second half of the 1920s. The country did not slip into severe depression, however, until early 1930, and its peaks to trough decline in industrial production was roughly one third that of the United States. France also experienced a relatively short downturn in early 1930s. The French recovery in 1932 and 1933, however, was short-lived. French industrial production and the prices both fell substantially between 1933 and 1936. Germany's economy slipped into downturn in early 1928 and then stabilized before turning down again in the third quarter of 1929. The decline in German industrial production was roughly equal to that of the United States. A number of the countries in the Latin America fell into depression in late 1928 and early 1929, slightly before the U.S. decline in output. While some less developed countries experienced severe depression, others such as Argentina and Brazil experienced comparatively mild downturns. Japan also experienced a mild depression which began relatively late and ended relatively early.